Hi Gemini, welcome to November. This is Teresa from Tarot by T. So this month we have a lunar eclipse in Taurus on November 8th. And then Venus and Mercury and the Sun move into Sagittarius, your 7th house, later in the month. And on the 23rd, the Sun moves into Sag, Jupiter goes direct, and we have a new moon in Sag in your 7th house of partnerships. So let's see we'll talk about the astrology later. Let's see what the cards say for for Gemini. What does Gemini need to know about love and relationships for the month of November 2022? What is coming up for Gemini this month of November? What is coming up for Gemini? The Queen of Wands, the Knight of Wands, the Queen of Swords in the past, the Page of Swords, the Seven of Cups, the Three of Wands, the Eight of Pentacles, the Temperance, the Moon, and the Ten of Cups. And the card at the bottom of the deck is the Knight of Pentacles. Okay. So the Queen of Wands energy is a card of someone who knows what they want and they're ready to go after it. So if you're interested in a relationship, you have to, this could be your energy. Like you're going to be, she's a good leader. She's not afraid to speak her mind. She knows how to get what she wants. Now, sometimes the Queen of Wands, she's just very direct, very honest. No, she doesn't pull any punches. So I feel like if you're interested, you're going to be taking action. You're going to be the one taking action in a relationship this month. If you're in a relationship, you're going to be taking action to solve any problems. If you're not in a relationship, you're going to be taking action to get in one. So you have the Knight of Wands energy too. This is crossing you. So some of you might be dealing with, if the Knight of Wands energy is the card of adventure, someone who's looking for new adventures. If you're not in a relationship, that could be your energy. Like, I want to find someone that I can connect with, and I'm going to go out and, mingle and see what's out there. But it can also mean if you're connected with someone represented by the Knight of Wands, you could be dealing with someone who's a little bit of a player, because the Knight of Wands energy is kind of someone who's very fun, a lot of fun. They breeze in, they're fun, very light and breezy. Let's have fun. Let's do this. Let's do that. But they sometimes make promises that they don't keep. They're not very reliable. So if you're looking for stability and security, this person may not give you that. In the past, you have the Queen of Swords and the Page of Swords energy. So I feel like the Queen of Swords energy is someone who is very... now this could be your past energy. This could even be you, because the swords are usually air signs. But you may have in the past had a wall built up around you, where you're like, because you might have been in a relationship where you were hurt, or you had reasons to be self-protective. Because the Queen of Swords energy is, keep your distance. I don't need anybody. I'm very independent. I can handle it. She has a wall built around her because she's been hurt and she's afraid to get close to anyone. And she has this, she can be a little bit intimidating at times. And especially with the Page of Swords, her communication style can be harsh. So the Queen of Swords can sometimes come across as harsh and unemotional. But she's always fair. She sees things. Because she's got a very fine mind. Geminis, they know what's up and where it's at, and they're good communicators, right? You're a good communicator. You're not going to fall for anyone's BS story. You know how to evaluate things. So if someone's coming to you with some story, you're like, yeah, okay. But sometimes you could, it's not what you say, it's how you say it. And the Page of Swords can sometimes mean having to have a difficult conversation. So you might have been in a relationship in the past, or you might have had some past issue where you've had to like give someone, tell someone, give them a piece of your mind, or tell someone what you think, or, hey, we've got this problem, this is what it is, and da 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 da. It might not have been a pleasant conversation, or you might have been dealing with someone. Sometimes the Page of Swords can be someone who's difficult, challenging person. The Page of Swords is also a card of spying and gossip. So you want to be careful when the page comes up, who you talk to, who you tell your story to, because there could be some spies in your midst that run back to people and, spread rumors. It also is warning you not to listen, not to believe everything you hear for the same reason. So if someone comes to you with a story, you really have to evaluate what you're hearing. Like, is this the truth? Can I trust this person? So the Page of Swords is about communication, but it's about also looking deeper, looking beneath the surface. Don't take what you hear or what you see at face value. Go deeper. Ask questions. Ask the tough questions. Get at the truth. And especially because the Queen of Wands, she speaks the truth. She wants to know the truth. So if there's any kind of confusion in a relationship, what you need to do is speak up about it and get at the truth and try to really use discernment, to separate what you hear and know, is this the truth or not? Because when I get to the moon card is in the reading, and that can bring confusion, or not, like you're not sure if you could trust someone. Am I seeing things clearly? Am I seeing this relationship clearly? Is this person being honest with me? Are they deceiving me in any way? Can I trust them? So those are some issues that may come up this month, and you have to get at the truth. You have the Seven of Cups, so you might have more than one option in terms of relationship. I feel like you do. And maybe you're trying to decide, which one is the best option for me. Do I go with the adventurous person? You also have this Knight of Pentacles, which is more down to earth. The Knight of Pentacles energy is down to earth, reliable, but maybe a little bit boring, maybe a little bit, too predictable for Gemini, because Gemini likes, variety, and variety is the spice of life to Gemini, and you don't want to be with a stick in the mud, But at the same time, you don't want to give your heart to a player either, so you have to kind of balance that energy. Like, look at both people and see, okay, which is the right person for me? I want someone that's going to keep me on my toes, that's going to be a good conversationalist, where we could do a lot of different things, because I like variety. I don't want to just be like, let's do the same, same old, same day, same stuff, different day kind of thing. That's not Gemini. Gemini likes, let's do this today, let's do something else tomorrow. So you might have more than one option with the Seven of Cups. Like, what do I choose? What's right for me? Who is the right, relationship for me? And right now you've just been kind of thinking about it. You haven't been acting with the Seven of Cups. You're just like playing a wait and see game, or imagining maybe there's two people you're interested in, or two people who are interested in you, but you're not sure which one to devote your energy to, and you're trying to discern the best. Like, may the best man win, or woman, or person, I should say, whatever the case may be. Now you have the Three of Wands here. Now that's a card of team energy, or working, with others in a group. It's like a group energy. So there could be something coming up in the future. It's also a card where you're going to be working with others, or you might be, joining a group or working together on a project. And that could also, I feel like it's more of a work project, like working as part of a team. But the Three of Wands also means seeing the results of your effort. So if you've been trying to make a relationship work and trying to figure out, have those difficult conversations, trying to make things better, bring more stability to a relationship, you can see, you're going to see results coming up this month. And you have the Eight of Pentacles here, which is a card of taking things in a new direction, and but yet being at the beginning stages. So sometimes Eight of Pentacles sometimes relates to career. So you might be thinking about taking your career path in a different direction. Maybe you started a new job, or you got some type of promotion. Your role is changing, and you're waiting to see, where it's going to all go. It's in your negative thinking sector, so maybe you're thinking, I don't know if this relationship's going to get off the ground. Because the 8 represents doing the work, but it doesn't offer immediate rewards. So if you just started a relationship, and with these 2 knights and the pages, I feel like you're in the early stages of something new, and you're waiting to see what's going to develop. You have the Temperance here, which is a card of finding balance. It can sometimes come up when you need work-life balance, like if you've been focused too much on work and career and you need to devote some time on a relationship. But it could also come up when 2 people are coming together in partnership, but they're very different. They're compatible, but they're very different. And you see the world differently, and you operate in a different way than your partner. And you're having to learn to meet in the middle and compromise. So if you're having any problems in a partnership this month, the way out is through compromise, trying to see things from the other person's perspective, learning how to communicate in a non-confrontational way. Because with the Page of Swords here, you may, and especially with the Queen of Wands energy, you may be like shooting arrows at another person, and you win more flies with, the honey. So you have to control how you're presenting, how you're communicating, because if you don't want to be too harsh, and you don't want to come across as emotionally unavailable. You want to watch how you're saying something, how are you communicating, because that could create conflict if you're too harsh. So you want to balance what you're saying with compassion and care for the other person's feelings. And so Temperance is definitely about meeting someone halfway, learning how to compromise. I feel like there is a strong connection in a relationship. You just have some communication issues to work out. Because you also have the Moon here. This is in your wish fulfillment sector. And the Moon is confusion. Like you can't see. You're not seeing things clearly. There's something in a relationship that you're not seeing clearly. And so you might be suspicious of your partner, or you might be overly cautious, or creating problems where there are none, because the Moon sometimes blows things out of proportion. So you might be taking a small issue and making it into a big, drama. So the Moon is, if you don't know the facts about something, you need to ask. Don't just fill in the blanks with your imagination. Because sometimes the Moon card can blow things out of proportion, both in the positive or the negative. Like you could imagine that things are worse than they are or better than they are. The only way you know with the Moon is through talking. And so if you're not sure about a person, you have to sit down and have a difficult conversation. Where is this relationship going? How do you feel about me? What are my, how do I fit into your life and your future plans? What can we do to make this work? Why are you doing this, this, and this? How can we work together? You have to talk. You can't let your imagination overthink things where you're not having a lot of times we do that. We don't want to have the confrontation with the person. So we think, oh, they did that. They must have, what does that mean? And you're filling it in, you're figuring out, oh, they did that because of this and this. And you have this whole thing worked out in your head. It may have nothing to do with reality. So the way out of any relationship difficulty this month is communicate, look deeper, don't listen to hearsay, don't listen to anyone else, don't have this like triangulation thing going on where he said, she said, like if somebody says, oh, I saw so-and-so and they said blah, 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 go directly to the source. That you'll stay out of trouble. The outcome is the 10 of Cups. So that is like the ultimate love card. So I think that you can work out any problems. You're going to start to see results. You just have to avoid some of these pitfalls of letting your imagination run away with you being too harsh in your communication style. You have to learn how to compromise, and you have to take action. Don't just dream about the possibilities. Step up to the plate and go after what you want. So if there's, this is a general reading, so it may not apply to everyone, but if you're not in a relationship and you're interested in someone, initiate contact. Start communicating. If you are in a relationship and you've been having or trying to choose between two people or two situations, use discernment and look deeper. Don't just take people at face value. Don't just listen to what you hear. It may not be true. Look deeper. Have those difficult conversations. And I feel like you could work things out as long as you don't let your imagination run away with you and you're willing to compromise. So let's see. Sometimes the Knight of Wands can also represent travel, like you might be traveling with your partner. So possibly traveling together could help things. But if you're trying to choose between the Knight of Wands and the Knight of Pentacles, I would go with the Knight of Pentacles because this person is more reliable. This person may be here today, gone tomorrow. So that's my take on this reading. Let's see what the angels have to say for Gemini. Prayer. Dear guardian angel, help me dissolve past guilt or regret. Help me to see that all is always in perfect and divine order. Help me to let go of the fear that I project on my future. Help me to live fully within each precious moment and feel your eternal love within and around me. Help me to realize and fulfill my true potential. So there you go. Don't let fear hold you back. Don't let insecurities create problems where there are none. Speak up and talk it out, and you could have this Ten of Cups energy. It's waiting for you. I feel like the person you're connecting with is someone that really cares. You just have some issues to work out around compromise and communication. So let's see what the astrology says. So Gemini, you're having a full moon total lunar eclipse in your 12th house. And so the moon and Uranus are in your 12th house, and the sun is in the 6th house with Mercury and Venus. And these are the psychological health issues. Health house. The 6th house could also be work, your day-to-day environment at work, your service, how you serve in your life, how you serve others. The 12th house is psychological. I feel like you're going through something is going to be revealed because the 12th house is a hidden house. And when you have a full moon there, it's bringing things that are hidden to the surface so that you can see them. So you're going to see some truths this month, possibly around psychological issues that you might have with a female person in your life. Because lunar eclipse can sometimes eclipse a female from your life, or it can bring up issues around that are very emotional, issues around security, especially because the moon is in Taurus, which represents feeling safe and secure. What do I value? You may have some psychological issues around finances or security. How do I feel secure enough in this relationship? There may be some surprises with Uranus. Uranus always brings sudden things that you didn't expect. The sun is in the 6th house with Mercury and Venus, so you could have an unexpected message. Venus can be unexpected love relationship, and if it's love, it could happen in your work environment. You could suddenly meet someone that you connect with, or someone may communicate to you about their feelings, and it might shock you because Uranus is like, I didn't see that coming. Uranus brings things from left field. So what I would say is just see what comes up at this time. It's squaring the 9th house, Saturn in the 9th. So the 9th is the house of long-distance travel. It's the house of higher education, teaching, learning. It's also the house of your beliefs and your spirituality. So don't be too rigid in your beliefs. You may feel blocked by authority figures. Maybe you're wanting, or there could be some problems with travel with Saturn. Because Saturn brings like a heaviness or a commitment energy or a seriousness to the thing. And Venus is squaring Saturn right now, and also Mercury. So I feel like conversation is going to be difficult. You may have to have some serious conversation with a partner. And with Venus squaring Saturn, it's kind of like, it's not a warm and fuzzy energy. So you may feel cut off from loved ones, especially with the sixth house. Maybe you feel like you're giving too much, you're not getting enough back in return, or one of you feels that way. Because the sixth house is a house of service, what you do, what you give. If you've been over-giving, you may have to have a conversation like to balance things out in a relationship. Or if you're not giving enough. Are you sacrificing too much for a relationship? Are you not sacrificing enough? Those are some of the issues. There could also be some psychological issues that you have to deal with. How am I, because the 12th house is, where do I self-sabotage? Or what are my hidden enemies? And that's the ancient. The ancients call the 12th house, the house of hidden enemies. The house of prison, hospitals, confinement. But I think it's more metaphorically that it's where we block ourselves. Am I thinking negatively? Am I, what psychological patterns am I not seeing that I bring to a relationship that I need to look at? What do I need to release from that are what is confining me? Is it a fear of losing my freedom? Because Uranus wants to free you from psychological baggage. It wants to free your emotions so that you can express your love and your emotions. So there could be some things that come up that you may not want to deal with because Saturn is squaring it. It's like Saturn is like the teacher, the tough love teacher, and you may have to reevaluate your belief systems of what's possible with Saturn in the ninth. What do I believe is possible? What have I been taught to believe that may not be valid anymore? Or seeing the truth. Saturn brings a hard, cold reality, Now, Mars is in your first house in Gemini. So you've been feeling kind of feisty with Mars in Gemini. You might be fighting with everybody. It's trining Saturn, so I feel like if you you may want to talk to someone older or younger, older, like someone whose opinion you respect, and get a different perspective. Maybe you have things to learn, and you feel like, oh, I'm too old to learn things, or I'm too young to learn things, whatever. But Mars in the first house, it's giving you the energy to take action, to manifest something that you want. And you'll be able to get through the blockages if you take action. So you have to take action. You can't just wait for things to happen. Mars is square. You have Jupiter and Neptune in your 10th house. And Mars is trining that. Squaring it. So it means know what your limits are. You may take on too much. With Jupiter in the 10th, Jupiter is like abundance and excess. Neptune is, confusion. Sometimes it can be confusion, but it could also mean doing things where you're caring for other people, where you're doing something like you're doing social work, where maybe you're sacrificing too much for your friendships or your relationships, and you're doing too much. Maybe you need to lighten up a little or know what your limits are. Mars is giving you the energy, but you don't want to use it in a negative way where you're causing, if you're not taking action, if you're not doing something physical, then you might be just fighting with someone. So use the energy of Mars wisely to do something physical to get rid of, go for a walk or a run or work out with weights or something, clean the house, do something physical, lift heavy objects so that you're not fighting with the people around you. And don't let the Jupiter energy make you go over the top, because Jupiter sometimes, it increases what it touches, but it's a square, so it may increase it in a negative way instead of a positive way. Pluto's going through your 8th house, so you're really dealing with shadow issues right now. And you are transforming at deep levels. Pluto wants you to be reborn and to be your best self. And while you're doing that, you could be having some power struggles with people in power. But it's also transforming you for the better. You might be like rising up and dealing with things that have, dealing with the shadow, where you become more empowered. You're becoming more empowered by dealing with these difficult things. So don't be afraid to deal with anything that's difficult at this time. If something gets revealed to you and it has some psychological origin, it's a good time to deal with that and talk about it and it will change you for the better. It will transform your life. You have Chiron in the 11th house, and it's sextile Saturn in the 9th. So you could be dealing with someone that's from a different culture than you also, or someone who has different belief systems than you. Maybe you're connecting with friends and groups that are showing you a different way of living or a different way of believing. There could be some healing that needs to take place around friendship. So then we have the new moon in Sag, and this is in your 7th house. So I feel like, so the full moon eclipse is going to show you your psychological patterns. What do I need to face my shadow. What am I doing that is sabotaging either my work life or my relationship life? How am I avoiding intimacy? What can I do to heal that, to fix that? Once you see it, you can fix it. Then you have this new moon in the 7th house. So the sun and moon in Sagittarius. And it's trining Jupiter. Jupiter rules your 7th house, Jupiter and Neptune. So I feel like you can have a new beginning in a relationship that's going to be very positive for you. And it's sextiling, and Jupiter and Neptune are sextiling Pluto in the 8th house. So I feel like it's going to bring abundance to you. Maybe you get a promotion on your job, or you have success in a relationship. You have a new beginning in a relationship. It brings more hope and abundance to you, and it transforms your life in some way. Venus and Mercury are in your 7th. So the key, love is available, but you have to communicate. It's about communication. How do you communicate? Chiron's in the 11th. Mercury is and Venus are sextile Chiron. So again, you can heal something in a friendship and in a relationship through communication, through telling someone how you feel, being more vulnerable. Don't hold back. Don't put the wall up. Don't, if you can communicate how you feel and get at the root, just let that person know. It's all about showing your love, communicating. You could also be signing some type of contract in a career situation. But whatever it is, I think it's going to be a new beginning that's positive, that's going to bring abundance and love your way. So you have to go through the dark night of the soul at the beginning of the month and see where you need to make some changes. And then you have this new beginning later in the month with the new moon. And again, Mars is retrograding. So you're going to be dealing with issues of, how you appear to the world and relationships for the next 6 months, because Mars will be retrograde till March, and it moves into Cancer. So it's going to be stirring up your 1st house, which is, you're going to feel a little bit restless and like, I want to do something, I want to make something happen. So don't be too pushy in relationships. Don't to always get your way. You might need to tone it down a little bit. Let the other person have some say or see things. You have to balance your needs with the other person's needs. But the energy around this new moon, there are more trines and sextiles, less squares. So there's less tension. There's more, okay, let's work this out. Let's make something happen. And you have more supportive energy. So I think that if you want to do some healing, whatever gets revealed at the full moon eclipse, the lunar eclipse, will be like a wake-up call. And what do I need to do to heal? What do I need to do to transform and change and to stop letting things that my unconscious programming interfere with my relationships and my success? If you can do that, if you have the courage to face that and, willing to to do the work to make some changes, you can have a brand new beginning at the end of the month that brings a lot of joy and hope into your life. So have a wonderful November, and I will just talk to you next month. Okay, bye now.